Hi, I'm Julia. Let me take you back to that sunny Saturday. It started like any other, but ended up changing everything. As I pulled into my brother Ethan's driveway, I felt a mix of excitement and nerves. It had been a while since the whole family gathered, and I was eager to see everyone, especially since I had just landed my new job as a manager at a top marketing firm. My old car, a 2002 blue sedan, was packed with bags of chips and homemade salsa. It wasn't much to look at, but it was mine, paid off and reliable. As soon as I got out, Ethan was the first to greet me. "Hey, Jules, we were starting to think you'd bailed on us." "Never," I laughed, handing over the snacks. Traffic was a nightmare. Walking into the backyard, the smell of grilled burgers hit me. And there was Vanessa, Ethan's wife, looking like she just stepped out of a magazine shoot in her summer dress and designer sunglasses. My parents waved from the grill, and my younger siblings, Mike and Sarah, were setting up outdoor games. Finally, the guest of honor arrives. Vanessa called out, her voice loud enough for the neighbors to hear. She glanced at my car, parked next to their brand new SUV. "Couldn't you park that relic around the block, Jules? It's killing my view." A few of my cousins chuckled as I tried to laugh it off. "Well, it gets me from A to B," I replied. Vanessa sighed dramatically, taking a sip of her cocktail. "Oh, honey, you really should treat yourself. You're a manager now, aren't you? Act like it." I started to say something, my news about the new job still fresh. But Vanessa had already moved on, gathering a group to announce the start of a game. I stood there, her words stinging, until Ethan caught my eye and shrugged apologetically, mouthing, "Don't let her get to you." The afternoon went on with the usual barbecue fun, games, mingling, and catching up. But Vanessa's comment gnawed at me. It wasn't just about the car, it was her way of reminding me where I stood in her world. As we all sat down to eat, the conversation buzzed with updates from everyone's lives. I shared my job news, receiving congratulations and questions from family, all while Vanessa played up her role at the same company. She had no idea the bombshell I was about to drop. "So, Julia, it must be a big step up from your old gig, huh?" Vanessa said with a smirk. "Hopefully they're paying you enough to upgrade that car soon." She nudged Ethan as she spoke. Before I could respond, my mom interjected. "We're all so proud of Julia. She's worked hard for this." The meal went on with laughter and stories, but tension simmered just below the surface. As the sun set and people started saying their goodbyes, I helped clean up, all the while thinking about Vanessa's arrogance and the reality of what awaited on Monday. That Monday morning, walking into the sleek glass building, my stomach was in knots. First days are always nerve-wracking, but this one was different. I was stepping into a managerial role at one of the most prestigious marketing firms in the city. The receptionist greeted me warmly. "Good morning, Julia. They're ready for you upstairs." Stepping out of the elevator, I was greeted with applause from my new team. The director, Mr. Carter, shook my hand. "Everyone, let's officially welcome Julia as your new project manager." The room buzzed with excitement, but my eyes quickly found Vanessa. She was clapping, but her smile was tight and her applause hesitant. She hadn't known I would be her new boss until this very moment. "Let's catch up after this, Julia," Vanessa said, her tone a mix of surprise and forced cheerfulness. "Sure, let's do that," I replied, calm and composed, though my emotions swirled beneath the surface. After the meeting, as everyone returned to their desks, Vanessa lingered. Her steps were slow, her usual confidence diminished. "Julia, about the barbecue, I hope there are no hard feelings," she said softly, a far cry from her usual boldness. "Vanessa, let's keep our focus on work," I said, my tone professional. "Personal matters stay outside these walls," I replied with a polite yet distant smile. "Of course, Julia, you're right," Vanessa nodded, though her eyes darted away, barely masking her unease. Over the next few days, I dived into project files and performance reports. Vanessa's work required special attention. There were inconsistencies in her project timelines and budget allocations that didn't add up. During one of our one-on-ones, I decided to address it directly. "Vanessa, I've noticed some discrepancies in the Smith account. Can you walk me through your process here?" I asked. "Sure, I mean it's probably just minor oversights. You know how it goes, deadlines and all," she laughed nervously, fidgeting with her pen. "Minor or not, accuracy is crucial, Vanessa. We can't afford mistakes, especially with high-profile clients. Let's go over this together, shall we?" My tone was firm, leaving little room for excuses. Yes, absolutely. I'll pull up the details now, she said, her fingers trembling slightly as she tapped on her keyboard. As we reviewed the files, it became clear that Vanessa was cutting corners. Her work barely skimmed acceptable standards. Each session revealed more gaps, and I documented everything meticulously, preparing for the inevitable. In our next meeting, I laid out the documented discrepancies. Vanessa, based on these reviews, I see a pattern of oversight that needs to be corrected immediately. I understand, Julia. I'll make sure to tighten things up. Thanks for pointing these out, she responded, her tone a mix of gratitude and discomfort. I nodded. Let's ensure it doesn't continue. Our clients and our team rely on our diligence. As she left my office, the weight of the situation seemed to settle on her shoulders. For me, it was about protecting the integrity of our work, but I couldn't help but feel a faint twinge of satisfaction. Justice, in its own way, was being served. That following Monday, the stakes were high, not just for me, but for Vanessa too. Today was her proving ground. She walked in, clutching her oversized designer bag and a stack of files, her heels clicking assertively on the polished floor. About a minute? I beckoned her into my office, my tone purposeful. Sure thing, she replied, smoothing her blouse as she sat down. I'm putting you in charge of the Henderson project, I said, laying out the project details in front of her. It's small but crucial. Think of it as an opportunity to showcase your skills. Vanessa's eyes flicked up, a mix of nervousness and excitement shining in them. Really? Thanks, Julia. I won't let you down. I nodded, watching her closely. I'll be guiding you through it, but I want to see what you can do when you're leading. As the days rolled on, I kept a close watch on her progress. Meetings were frequent, and I documented every decision and approval. Vanessa's initial enthusiasm began to wane as the pressure mounted. During one of our strategy sessions, I asked Vanessa during our last review, you mentioned outsourcing some of the graphics work. Have you vetted the vendor properly? Oh yeah, they're good. I think they'll be fine, she replied hastily. It's crucial they're more than just fine. Can you share the vetting process you followed? I pressed, knowing any misstep now would be on record. She fumbled through her files, her facade of confidence slipping. I'll get that info to you by the end of the day. I just didn't bring the paperwork with me right now. Days turned into weeks, and the project deadline loomed. In a team meeting, it was Vanessa's turn to present her progress. The room was full, and the air was thick with anticipation. Vanessa stood at the front, her report in hand, but her usual poise was absent. All right, let's see. For the marketing strategy, we're planning to, she stumbled over her words. Her report lacked the depth and clarity expected. Mr. Carter, seated in the corner, raised his eyebrows and gave me a slight nod. This was the moment. Vanessa, I interjected, could you elaborate on how the budget was allocated? There seemed to be some discrepancies between your report and the initial estimates. Her face flushed. Well, I had to make some last-minute changes. The costs, they kind of got away from me. I see. It's crucial we stick to the planned budgets, especially with new clients, I remarked, turning to share a look with the team. It's important we all learn from this. The meeting ended, and as the team shuffled out, murmurs of concern about the project's status filled the room. Vanessa lingered, her defeat almost palpable. Julia, I tried to handle it. I don't know what went wrong, she confessed, her voice low. Managing projects is about oversight and adaptability, Vanessa. Let's discuss how we can rectify this, I said, my tone firm but not unkind. I knew this moment wasn't just about her failure, it was about setting a standard for everyone. Vanessa nodded, agreeing to meet later. I documented everything carefully. Her mismanagement was now evident to the entire team. Though I took no pleasure in her struggle, I knew it was necessary to protect the company and its clients. This was about justice, not revenge. Upholding professional standards was key. The day after that disastrous meeting, the office was eerily quiet. As I made my way to my desk, whispers trailed behind me like a shadow. Vanessa, pacing by the water cooler, intercepted me before I could sit down. This was a setup, wasn't it? You've been out to get me from the start, she accused, her voice tense and strained with anger and confusion. I gave you an opportunity, Vanessa. The outcome was in your hands, not mine, I replied, calm and measured against her rising tone. But you watched me fail. You could have helped more. You could have guided me, she said, desperation creeping into her voice. Helping is one thing. Doing your job for you is another. We all have to meet our standards, and unfortunately, you didn't meet yours, I said. She scoffed, throwing her hands up in frustration. So that's it, huh? You're just going to watch me go down. I document everyone's performance, Vanessa. It's not personal, it's my job. Later that afternoon, Mr. Carter called us into his office. The atmosphere was thick, almost suffocating, as Vanessa and I sat across from him. He laid out the papers I had compiled, mismanaged budgets, unvetted vendors, timeline discrepancies. After reviewing the evidence and considering Julia's observations, we've decided it's best for the company that we part ways with you, Vanessa, he said firmly. Her face went pale, the fire in her eyes extinguished by the weight of the decision. I understand, was all she could manage, her voice barely a whisper. The news of Vanessa's termination spread quickly. At the next family gathering, the mood was mixed. My brother Ethan approached me as I poured myself some coffee. I know it's been rough, Jules. Are you okay? His concern was genuine, and it touched me. I did what was necessary, Ethan. It wasn't about revenge, it was about integrity. He nodded, clapping a hand on my shoulder. I know, sis, and I think, deep down, everyone else knows too. Our parents, ever supportive, made no comment on Vanessa's absence, choosing instead to focus on the family being together. As the night wore on, the heaviness lifted somewhat, laughter and chatter filling the space between us. Driving home later, the quiet hum of my old reliable car gave me a moment to reflect. Sitting in the driver's seat, watching the streetlights blur past, I considered everything that had happened. My job had demanded tough choices, ones that affected not just me, but the people around me. While I never sought to hurt Vanessa personally, my role was clear: uphold a standard. Ensuring justice at work meant making hard decisions, even if they impacted family. And while the weight of those decisions was heavy, I drove on knowing I'd done my job with as much fairness and integrity as I could muster. The road ahead was clear, guided by the principles I valued most. And that wraps up our story. What do you think? Was Julia right in her handling of Vanessa's situation, strictly upholding her professional duties? Or could she have been more supportive despite their past issues? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Your support keeps these stories coming.